Author's point of view. Vian, startled by his sudden yell, Vian flinched, but the next moment a scowl marred her face, as it always does when interacting with him. She blew out a sigh and looked at him, who stood at the threshold of the bedroom. Vian, what do you want, Park? He strode inside, his eyes narrowed, face contorting with frustration. Jimin, what is all this? He gestured towards her papers, pencils, and markers scattered on the coffee table. Not only that, paper balls, pencil trash, etc. were sprawled on the floor. It looked as if a storm had just passed by. Vian just shrugged nonchalantly. Vian, I thought you had a good eyesight to figure out that this is the stuff I use for sketching designs. He sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. How did she manage to get on his nerves every single time? Jimin, I can see that. I'm asking what condition have you made of my room? He exclaimed in disbelief and horror, looking around at the mess. He hated messy things and messy people. His wife was a messy person, but just when she was concentrated on work. Vian, Mr. Perfectionist Park, I'm not interested in your lecture on organizing things right now. Let me work. She muttered and turned away from him, thereby shutting him up. Jimin, Minx, he murmured under his breath and started tidying the room. Vian, I heard that, brat. Choi Vian, a jewelry designer and an artist, found joy in little things and was a very strong willed and self respecting woman. Park Jimin, the only heir of the Park family and the CEO of Park Industries, was one hell of a perfectionist. How did such individuals, who were poles apart in personality and had even more different worlds, end up tied in such a sacred bond as marriage? Jimin's parents had arranged his marriage to Choi Nari, Vian's older sister. Both Jimin and Nari had agreed to the marriage as per their parents' wishes. Everything was going well. On the wedding day, Vian discovered that Nari had run away, leaving a note saying she couldn't marry Jimin because she loved someone else. She had to say yes because of her parents. Vian somehow handled her angry and disappointed father and tried to comfort her heartbroken and scared mother. Mr. Choi suggested a drastic situation. Vian should take Nari's place as the bride. It took her parents' helpless pleading and her mother's tears for Vian to agree. She loved her parents and would do anything for them. After the vows were exchanged, Jimin lifted Vian's veil to complete the ritual of the kiss. To his shock, he was taken aback, and so was his family. Once the ceremony concluded, Jimin had erupted in frustration when everyone gathered in a room away from the public. Jimin, who gave you all the right to play with us like this and lie? Vian's parents sought understanding, explaining their actions were necessary to avoid backlash for both families. Fortunately, Jimin's grandfather, the wise head of the family, accepted the situation. Vian, Mr. Smartass, how can your file be placed on my side of the cupboard? He scoffed and answered her with a sass which she is still getting used to. Jimin, because Miss Know It All, I gave it to you the day before yesterday to keep it in my drawer as I was busy, but it looks like you had misplaced it since I can't find it anywhere now. Vine, you didn't Park. I don't have any of your files. Jimin, yes, I did. Vine, you didn't. If you had, I would have remembered it. Jimin, I did. I clearly remember it. Forget it. What to even expect from you? When your family has a history of lying, how would you be different? Vine, watch your mouth, Jimin. Jimin, truth sounds bitter, doesn't it? His words were harsh, bitter, said in the heat of the moment. Vine just kept glaring at his back, her fist clenched in anger. She was going to make him regret his words and his behavior. His behavior was confusing for her. Vine, arrogant, jerk, idiot. She mumbled a few curses which he heard and walked out of the room. After searching some more, when he didn't find anything, he gave up. Defeated, he got his things and left for the office. Jimin's point of view. Mr. Lee, sir, Mr. Williams will be arriving soon and everything is ready as per your orders. I nodded at my secretary and he left after bowing to me. I massaged my temple in worry as I opened the side drawer to find my phone. What am I going to tell Mr. Williams? Jimin, holy shit! I exclaimed with relief as I found the file I had been searching for all morning. However, memories of the morning flooded back. I hadn't given it to Ryan. I groaned, holding my head, shame, guilt, regret. Everything coursed through my body at once as I remembered my behavior this morning with Ryan. I got home at 9 p.m. with a bouquet of roses, hoping to find my wife after a successful meeting. I knew she was upset with me for my earlier behavior. As I headed to our bedroom, expecting to find her sketching or working, I was surprised to see the room empty and tidy. Frowning, I searched the house but couldn't find her. Mrs. Park, Jimin, when did you come from the office? I turned toward my mother, who approached me with a small smile on her lips, and her smile widened in amusement as she saw the roses in my hand. Jimin, Mom, where is Ryan? Has she gone somewhere? I didn't try to hide the desperation in my tone, and my mother frowned in confusion, looking at me like I was a buffoon. Jimin, what? Tell me where my wife is. Mrs. Park, she went to her parents' house this afternoon. Didn't she tell you? I stiffened, absorbing her words. Ryan left. She went to her parents' house. Was it because of this morning? Before I could overthink more, I remembered she did tell me that she was going to visit her parents today. I flinched as my mother shook me and I raised my eyebrows at her. Mrs. Park, the flowers are for her, right? But they are going to wither before she receives them, my dear son. Mrs. Park, you know she is going to stay there for a few days, right? She wanted to spend her days off with her parents as she missed them. Oh, a few days off? She changed her plans. I didn't know what to think, so I just nodded at my mom and padded toward the bedroom to freshen up. Why did she change her mind? She was just going to visit them for a few hours. It's fine if she was missing her parents and that's why she decided to spend a few days there, but what if she had done it out of anger? What if she decided not to come back? Dread filled my heart at the thought of that. But why was I even thinking so much? Whenever it was anything related to her, my mind wouldn't shut up. Dinner passed in a blur, and here I was, lying on my bed, staring at the ceiling. The room was too silent without her chatter. Scoldings to be accurate. The bed felt empty without her. I called her again, declined. I sent her text, left on scene. I kept spamming her, she didn't reply. I called again, and again and again. I kept calling until I heard her pick up the call. Vine, what do you want, Park? I didn't know why I smiled hearing her. Jimin, you didn't tell me you were going to stay at your parents' house for a few days. I came straight to the point and I could feel her rolling her eyes at me on the other side. Wine. My life, my choice. Why do I need to tell you? Jimin. You don't need to, but I want to know about my wife's whereabouts. She scoffed and I didn't have a good feeling about it. Wine. So now I became your wife. Wasn't I just a liar in the morning? Jimin. Wine. Don't call me again. She hung up before I could say something. Stubborn woman. I know she won't hear me out, let alone forgive me. The next day, I was getting ready for office when my eyes fell on her hairbrush kept on the vanity. Wine. Park, what are you doing? I gave her a sarcastic smile and answered. Jimin. Dancing. Can't you see? I'm getting ready. She rolled her eyes while I went back to brushing my hair, pushing her slightly aside. Fine, I can see that, but I was getting ready. Why did you have to push me? Jimin. Because I'm getting late for work and you were taking forever to get ready. Fine. You should have woken up early then. I also have to get ready for work. She grumbled and moved her hips to push me aside, but I acted quickly and bent back, causing her to yelp and stumble down. Her hands fisted my collar and she slowly opened her eyes, which were shut in fear. I didn't know why, but her amber eyes always made my heart race, just like now. My eyes traced every line of her pretty face and then fell on her full pink lips. An urge to taste them, feel them arose within me. It wasn't for the first time. Before I could lose my mind, I shook my head, coming out of a trance, and cleared my throat, stepping away from her. She went back to getting ready, so did I, but the pink glow on her cheeks didn't go unnoticed by me. I chuckled as I recalled the memory. My thoughts broke when I heard a voice. Wine, move aside, Park. I'm getting late. Let me get ready. I blinked in confusion as I saw her combing her hair in a hurry. Was I dreaming? Jimin, you should have gotten up early then. She scoffed and rolled her eyes at me. Wine, look who is talking. And when I used to say the same thing, you used to ignore me, huh? She threw her hairbrush at me and I closed my eyes and ducked down, but then all I heard was silence. I opened my eyes, standing back up, and I saw no one in front of me. Oh man, was I hallucinating her now? I'm going crazy. I need to get myself checked. I shook my head and after gathering my things, I left for the office. Miss Lim, the files are all done, sir. The presentation is also completed. It would be great if you could take a look. Once you approve, the team can submit it. I nodded as I went through the files. Jimin, everything is perfect. The team has done a good job. You can ask them to submit the file Wine. I paused and my cheeks flushed in embarrassment. I looked up to see Miss Lim holding back a chuckle. Jimin, sorry about that, Miss Lim. You can ask the team to submit the file and continue ahead. Miss Lim, sure, Mr. Park. Jimin, stupid, idiot. What's happening to me? Wine, it's all your fault. The only word I have on the tip of my tongue is your name. Time skip. It was 8:35 p.m. when I returned home and was greeted by everyone sitting in the living room. My grandpa, mom, and dad waited for me as I told them I'd be back quickly after freshing up for dinner. Jimin's grandfather. How's work going, Jimin? Jimin. All well, grandpa. I answered with a small smile as I ate the food. Jimin. Wine, I'm full. Stop. I looked up and paused to see my mother stare at me in confusion. Silence spread across the table and I stared at my plate hoping for the ground to swallow me up. Then I heard a snort, which turned into a full blown laughter. It was my dad. Mom and Grandpa joined him, chuckling at my despair. Jimin, what's so funny? Mr. Park, it's just amusing to see you whipped. It's only been 3 days, my son. Jimin. No, I groaned when everyone just laughed.